Good evening, Excellency, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome once again to Cambodia Global Dialogue. Tonight, I have the pleasure to have with me an artist, a Cambodian artist, and it's a little bit exciting because I did this show, this dialogue for about nearly 3 years, but primarily focused on policy issue, globalization, development, education, you name it, but not much relating to art, particularly Cambodian art. But I think art is also one way to project Cambodia in the world scene, in the world arena. So I'm just happy to have with me today Sophiline Cheampiro. She's an artist, but I don't know much about it, so I'm gonna ask her to say instead what she's doing, and let's go from there, because for me, I'm more comfortable with the economic issue than art issue. But anyway, Sophiline, welcome. Welcome. Anyway, before we start, perhaps I give you a few minutes to introduce yourself to the audience.
Oh, okay. I was born in 1967 here in Phnom Penh. Yes. My parents' name, my father's name Cheampiro, and my mother's name Cheng Samet. And then when the Khmer Art took over Cambodia in 1975, my family and other family, of course the whole population from the city, was forced to leave our home and go to the countryside. There, of course, me and other family as well, being the working in the field. And then they shipped us to Battambang. So at first we went to Kanda province, and then later on we went to Battambang by train. Yes. There, of course, we suffer. I was asked to work in the field, separated from my family. My teenage sister also was taken away to the youth organization to build dams and irrigation. Sure. And then there, because of starvation and disease, my father passed away, and two of my brothers also passed away, and other relatives as well. And then, so when the Khmer Art was over, of course my family came back, and I joined my uncle, Cheng Pon, who was building, organizing an art colony. Yes, Mr. Cheng Pon, art colony in Kampong Thom province. I see. And so in that place, they're surviving artists. Some of them are from the palace. Yes. So look, dance master Satsam On, who specialize in giant character and male character. You know, in Cambodian classical dance, or we call Robam Boran. Yes. It has Niang of female character, male character, demon character or giant character, and a monkey character. Yes. Traditionally, all four characters were performed by women. And then later on, that the monkey character were given to male dancer. I see. Yes, and now you see male dancer doing the Hanuman character, etc. And so, so I went there and I watched rehearsal and I see performances. I like performing art very much. I see. Yeah. And so, a friend of mine was also like performing art very much. It said that we discussed and said, are we going to take this as a profession? Yes. And then we realized that, no, I'm not going to do that. And so I want to do something else. Yeah. And then when Lokta Cheng Pon moved to Phnom Penh and established reopened the School of Fine Art, and later on in 1991, he became the Minister of Culture and Information at that time. Yes. And so me, enrolled in a School of Fine Art, and actually I can tell you a very personal one. At that time, there was a small villa north of Vietnam. Yes. Lokta Cheng Pon lived there, and my family lived with him there. And at night, of course, at that time there was Cambodia was so devastated that the light we only have electricity from 6 to 9 o'clock usually. But most of the time it's all dark. The whole city is dark, and sometimes we don't have have running water. And so after dinner, I was kind of bored, and so I started to sing. And I sing the song of a Yike song, and sometimes Basa, and sometimes a Hari song that I learned from when I was in Kampong Thom, Vietnam. And he was sitting in the front porch, and so he said, I didn't know that you have a good voice. And so he said, you want to enroll in the School of Fine Art? And I said, yes, but I like to dance. And he said, well, maybe theater has a longer performance career, performance life than dance. You know, dance, you can only dance for a certain period of time, maybe until you're 40, 45, then you are retired and become a teacher and other thing. And so the next morning, I walk after him, go to the School of Fine Art at that time, and then I give an audition in the theater school. However, as I grew up, my voice changed, and then the teacher said, no, maybe it's time for you to pick another career, another major. And so I said, I'll go to the dance. And so at the time, Luk Ye Sotsam On, who was in Kampong Thom, now moved to be one of the principal teacher at the School of Fine Art, the dance school. And so I, with her, had developed a relationship very close, like a mother and daughter. And that sometime, even after school, I was invited to go to her house. So I could share with you a routine that what we did at the time. So from 6 to 6:30, everybody get to school. 6 to 7, we do exercise, warm up exercise. And then 7 to 11, we do basic movement in classical dance, and we study children's dance, theatrical dance like Junpo and Apsara and Temanorum, or we study excerpt of dance drama like from the Rimke or the Rimiso Mani Mekhala. Also sacred dance as well, dance that was performed for ritual. Like Rimiso and Mani Mekhala is a dance that tells the origin of rain. Mani Mekhala is the goddess of the ocean. She carries a crystal ball. And Rimiso is the giant character who is the spirit of the storm. So every year, traditionally, I think from what I learned, that this story had been performed as part of rituals since the Angkor period. Because we need rain, because our country is an agricultural country, and so rich soil, water, heat from the sun play an important role in the planting process. And so these rituals being conducted every year by the king, and this dance is performed in that ritual. So you could see that the dance was playing an important role in the prosperity of Cambodia.
Interesting.
And then later on after the fall of Angkor, that the dance become part of the royal palace. But you know, I think that King Sihanouk and up, you know, back to King Norodom still practicing, still arrange this kind of a ritual as well. And particularly at Wat Phnom, so in front of the Previ here. There. And so back to me. So after, in the morning, we train technique. And then in the afternoon, from 2 to 5, we study general education like math and literature and geography and things like that. After that, I came home for lunch, and then I would walk from Viet Minh to Burdeng, what is now the Phnom Penh Center. And at that time, all the artists who are working under the Ministry of Culture and Information stay there, live there.
Yeah.
I climb up in the dark to 4th floor to my teacher's apartment.
Yeah.
And after dinner, after she rests a little bit, she'll start teaching.
Teaching?
Dance.
Dance,
Yeah, sometimes we only have one candle,
I see.
one lamp, and
Yeah.
we teach dance. We learn dance.
Interesting.
Then I got up at 5, coming back to school,
Yeah.
and my day start again.
Yeah.
So with that close relationship with Master Satsumon, that now I see how her role model, and I also seen Lukta Cheampiro
Yes.
was working day and night
Yes.
to revive Cambodian arts and culture after the Khmer rule as well. So what I would like to share with you today is a piece of a work that I had created a couple of years ago, which is 2012 and 2013.
Yes.
So we created in 2012. This is a piece called A Bend in the River, or Ton Le Kaung Mui.
Oh, yes.
It's under the theme, it's an experimental work addressing the themes of revenge.
Revenge?
Yes.
Songsak.
Songsak.
Ah.
Revenge is something that it's a serious subject that many people secretly have, or in publicly announced, or whatever it is. But it's a serious event, issue, and particularly for me as a Khmer Rouge survivor.
Yeah.
And so, as I mentioned earlier, I lost my dad and 2 brothers and other relatives, and a whole livelihood as well.
Yeah.
After we came back, my house and the neighborhood was burned to the ground.
Wow. So how does that bend in the river, the revenge, how does it fit there?
How it fits there. So I want to rewind back a little bit to when I was walking, my family and many other people walking back from a village that we stay during the Khmer rule to the town of Badambong.
Yeah.
On our way back, of course people walk bare feet, and you carry whatever you can. And then we stop, when sunset. So one day I stopped in a village, and then there was a panic around, and said that the Vietnamese army had arrested a Pol Pot soldier, and so and some of the Cambodian people asked that soldier from the Vietnamese army, and they want to cut the day, or they make their own they give them sentence themselves. And so they tied them up on a tree, and they used the machete to just cut them down. Yes.
Oh my God.
And so that's what I heard. I didn't see it because I wouldn't dare to go. And so, as I was 14, 12 years old at that time. But I know that I'm angry.
Yeah.
But I don't think I can do that.
Yeah.
Or I want to do that. And so back to the School of Fine Art, where I see Lukta Cheampiro and Nekru Satsumon was teaching. And I see that, of course, they lost their family, they lost their livelihood, and the work they built in 1950 and 1960 it was all gone. I'm sure they were hurt. I'm sure they were angry. So I watched them participate as a student with them. So I realized that, I see, this is how they transform their anger and their revenge into rebuilding, into training a next generation of the art, of artists, and to rebuild what the Khmer tried to destroy.
So the Bend River is what is like is a performing art of how many artists is that?
We have 30 artists involved.
30 artists,
yes, and so it is a dance drama.
Okay, okay.
Technically, is Cambodian Rabamboran.
Yes.
You know, we use the same hand gesture, the jeep and the jangol.
Yes.
We use this hand gesture, and but it's addressing the themes that related to us as a present.
Yes.
As a contemporary people.
Yes, yes.
And how do we do that? And I think that I would like to support Luk Ta Chengpon and Nekru Satsumon and Luk Ye Chisami as well, that to transform our anger into a positive and productive activity for our society, that for me as an artist, to bring Cambodian art forward.
And then you've been able to project on the world scene, right? My understanding is that you have performed in New York, no?
Right. So this piece, I asked Lokmandet, Dr. Hemsapi, who is a composer, to compose music, new music, but for traditional instrument.
I see.
For the piece.
Yes.
And then Piksapip, who is a sculptor, very well-known Cambodian sculptor.
Rattan or bamboo?
He used rattans to build his sculpture. And so I asked him to make 2 giant crocodiles.
Okay.
And so the reason I approached them is that because that they both were also young people.
Yes.
During the Khmer Rouge, and we share that experience. So this is, they was excited and said, okay, this is something, you know, that we could connect with each other. However, for costume and set, San Vanari, who is a younger generation, Volek is also younger generation who did not experience the Khmer Rouge, also participate. The dancer and musicians also of younger generation as well. However, the themes that we are concerned about in this case is very attractive to them as well, because it is the themes that their parents also being subject to. That's right. And so what we try to say is that the suffering or the success of our ancestor is the resource or the foundation of our identity today. So we have to understand that. And therefore, all of us engage in this production, in this activity, we have to understand it. Find a way to share it with the audience.
Interesting. And then you were invited to show in the U.S.
Right. So Abandon the River first premiere in New York at the Joyce Theater as part of the season of Cambodia, organized by the Cambodian Living Art.
Yeah. And then where else have you performed? And
then we perform here just at the where our theater in Prek Ho, but only for a short section of an excerpt. But this time, June 13, 14, 15, Sophiline Art Ensemble will present this work at Chatamok at 7 p.m.
Okay.
June 15 is at 4 p.m.
Yes.
And so we open to the public, and the ticket is available at Java Cafe, which is near the Independence Monument, at Lotus Silk, which is on Street 240, at Cinemaplex, Platinum Cinemaplex, which is at Soria Mall, and at Amrita Performing Art, which is on Satiro Boulevard.
Interesting.
And so we also promote on Facebook and emails, and we will ask other press to help promoting the event as well.
This is great, and I hope this show we can spread the word around also. And you have hope that your performance will go global. You go to Europe, different part of the world.
I'm trying. Actually, we've been connected to different theater.
Yes.
We send our promotional material to different theater in Europe and America, and also, you know, other places in Asia, Singapore, for example. So this, if it works out, then the piece, I would like the piece to being presented in different places.
Yeah. You know, another interesting point is that, you know, we in a few years we'll be part of the ASEAN community, and there's a strong pillar on how does the 10 ASEAN countries understand and know each other's culture, right? And perhaps your show can project another dimension on how people see the Cambodian culture through the performance art.
Yes, the thing is that we have to present ourselves in such a way that we kind of overcome the feeling of being victim.
Yes.
I think that the Khmer Art has set us back so badly, and that it took us many years to really overcome that. And we still, you know, struggling to overcome emotionally and intellectually. And however, but I think that Cambodia had moved really come very far as well. You know, and so we have to. We cannot just say that, oh, okay, we only cherish the legacy of Angkor Wat, and then rejects the legacy of the Khmer Rouge. These two things, even though the Khmer Rouge happened only 4 years, less than 4 years, but it has a big impact. And therefore, to me, these two legacies make me who I am. And then also the legacy of the people who survived and try to rebuild country again is also make me who I am today too.
Sophiline, we're running out of time. I want to ask you, you have any message that you want to pass on to our audience?
Actually, I do. In this case, that I think that in many years that I did many works. There's always a support from outside, from foundations and individual from America or other places. However, a Bend in the River performing at Jatamuk at this time, next month, is a new opportunity opened up for me that I realized that, yes, in order for Cambodian art and culture to thrive in Cambodia, is that we have to find the resource in Cambodia, and that everyone in Cambodia should contribute in to make the art thrive. And because the art thriving, the art can contribute to upgrade our living condition. For example, for Bend in the River, the Ministry of Culture had been a important sponsor in this production. Royal Ratana, I'm sorry, Royal ANZ also sponsor. Platinum Cinemaplex and Sabai also sponsor the production. Oh, Friend of Khmer Culture also support. And I think that this is the first time that I and Sophiline Art Ensemble had approached in doing fundraising for artistic activity inside Cambodia. And I hope that for next performance or other group performance should be
Yes.
that way as well.
Yes.
Because this is not about only business that is thriving and only politics or only medicines or you know, health that is thriving, but I think the cultural activity, cultural life that is part of our cultural identity, you know, should be also alive.
Thank you, Sophiline. Thanks for the message. A very strong and moody, very, I would say, touching message. So I want to say thank you for taking the time to share with us this artistic side of it. But I would say not just the artistic side, but it blends a very strong philosophical underpinning behind your artistic work. There's also this whole historical passé, you know, past of Cambodia that you've been able to bring it up, the fuse, the recognition that, you know, yes, we do have Angkor Wat 1,000 years ago. It is our legacy, but the dark legacy of the Pol Pot era is also a legacy that we have to reckon with. But how do we learn from it? How do we grow out of this pain? How do we make this pain, you know, a foundation for our happiness? So I think I'm very impressed. So it's more than I expected when I said, my God, I'm going to be talking about art. Right? So thank you very much, Sophiline, for coming. Right?
Well, thank you for giving me the opportunity to share, to meet with your audience, and to get to know you, especially.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Well, we're coming to the end of the show, and let me just summarize briefly how I see this short discussion on art. How does it fit in, you know, the context of a evolving Cambodia in a global scene, in the regional scene? You know, I'm very much a firm believer that Cambodia has, of course, a rich history, some good history, some dark history, but nonetheless, it is still a history that we Cambodians must live with, must reckon, must, it's part of our life. As Cambodia moves toward the next phase of, you know, integration into the world and regional arena, we have to project more than just our economic, just, you know, the business side. We have to make the world know also about our culture. And I think we have a rich culture, but up to now, you know, our performing art has not been up to par in terms of international standard. And that's why I'm so happy that Sophiline and her art ensemble were able to pull together the resource, the talent, the expertise of our long gone ancestor, and put together this show. And I hope that the world will get to recognize and appreciate that Cambodia indeed have a great history, have a great talent, and we are a society with a great civilization with a great past, but also great future. So on that note, I hope to see you at the Chatumuk Theater on the
13th, 14th at 7 p.m. and then the 15th is at 4 p.m.
Thank you very much. So I'll see you there. Good night.